Seeded only 2.
No, the day I watched them against Ballymena, Jack, they were very well organised, very disciplined, worked extremely hard, and certainly they rode their luck on occasions. But I've got to say, more than played their part in the game. And there we have. There's a great song, Jack. I don't know if you know it. Mary Has a Little Lamb. I don't know all of the words of it, but it's a Larne favourite.
I'm not sure that's Mary.
It's that lovely, but I hope that little lamb's okay.
So there we go, we're about to get ready. Yes, even photographs of some MLAs, MPs in the crowd. And the crowd, it's not as big as in past years. We've had over 14,000 here for a Big Two final, which David would remember. But Mr. David Malcolm is our referee for the second year in a row. The two managers there, Vinnie Arkins, the skipper, Paul Curran, the skipper for Larne. Tremendous atmosphere. Portadown in red today, Larne in the white, and that's really because Larne had to change out of their traditional red because Portadown won the toss. Well, there are a couple of substitutes, a couple of mascots down there today. One of them, that might be him, 20-year-old Dylan Smith, who's the son of the assistant manager. Another is Rihanna Kernigan, who's the daughter of a former very good Larne midfielder, Harry Kernigan. Roderick Fall, 20 trophies he's won in 18 years at Shamrock Park, and he's always had the team, David, up there at a very high level. Including winning 4 titles.
He's an incredible manager, an incredible manager. You know, his stickability has been quite fantastic. How he has taken Portadown, what we would say maybe a country team, what he has achieved has been absolutely phenomenal. And when you think 18, what did you say, Jack? Was it 18 trophies that you said?
20 trophies in 18 years.
Tremendous. And particularly the league titles, the 4 league titles, absolutely top drawer. He's a very shrewd and a very astute manager. His choice of player is never far wrong. No airs and graces about the big man. No airs and graces. He's very straight. Yes, he's straight, uncompromising, but he gets the best out of his players.
Yeah, and he said in a recent profile in the press, there are the dignitaries getting to meet the players today. Brian Parks from Nationwide. Jimmy Boyce is down there as well. David Chick is at the front of that line.
There's a lovely touch, Jack, the way you have all the kids.
Alistair Hall is the other Nationwide representative. Sorry, David.
Sorry, Jack. When you see all the kids with the players there, you know, we talked about being a family day. And, you know, after some of the difficulties we've had in the last couple of weeks with local football, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And, you know, it frustrates you when you have those one-off occasions where the game is dragged through the mire. And when you see this now, look at Jimmy McGill there, like a dear old granda, Paul Curran, those youngsters there. You
That's
know,
right.
That really does project the game in the best way possible.
Is that young Dylan Smith, or is that one of Jimmy's grandchildren?
If that's Dylan Smith, that must be his dad's dummy, because he needs that to keep quiet on occasion, does our Sammy.
The Portadown mascot, by the way, is 10-year-old Adam Steenson, so we would have seen him on the sweep through. I think we're getting ready for the anthem. Well, we're not sure. I thought the anthem was on. I didn't want to talk over the top of it. Here we are. So the anthem is over, all the talking has been done. The band will make its way off, and the players will give us the fair play handshakes. And
it's a difficult time for players.
It's a big day for some players, and some thrive on it, and some don't really. They pay freeze.
This is where you want to get started, Jack. You know, you've had all of the razzmatazz, the build-up, the interviews, the shaking of hands, everybody here to wish you all the best. The bottom line is about those lads down there, and they just want to get playing now. They want to get the handshakes out of the road. They want to get their first touch on the ball, the first tackle, the first header, and let themselves relax into it. I know, remember these occasions as a player, your tummy was going over time.
Okay, David, I can believe that. I can understand that. A little Larne huddle there. Let's have a look at the Larne team. Can we see the Larne team? There we are. Not too many surprises. Dixon up front. I'm not sure Bonner will play up front. He may be in midfield. And I think Ogden might start just in front of the central defenders, David.
I think you've got it right, Jack. You know, I think they'll maybe play Mark out and out. As I say, young Bonner will slip in. They'll probably look to maybe play a 4, a 5 and a 1. And you'll see, say, Neil Ogden looking to protect Big Paul Curran and Big Murphy.
Let's move on to Portadown. And the real surprise here when we look at the Portadown team, no Gary Hamilton, but then he's been in and out of the side recently, but it's still a strong-looking side.
It's a very, very strong team. As I say, we said in the build-up, Jack, there's maybe various reasons as to why Gary isn't starting today. What you've got to remember also is that they beat Glentoran without Gary, and maybe it's in Ronnie's mind. He's maybe not in the best form. I've got to go with those players who are playing best at this moment in time. And you can't deny that Mark McCann in the semi-final was absolutely phenomenal. He really did well.
Yes, he got that late, well, it wasn't too late. I think it was the 72nd minute. He got the winner. There's Paul Curran. He'd forgotten about the toss-up. And Vinnie Arkins. Vinnie Arkins has got 240 goals for the club, and this is the end of his 8th season. It's not a bad return, is it?
The big man's a class act. You know, off the pitch, he's an absolute gentleman. Very, very humble big man, very quiet big fella. But I tell you, out on the pitch, he's tigerish. He really goes about his work in a most professional way. And as an example to all professional footballers in Northern Ireland, really is. And what a goal scorer. Absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, as they say, he doesn't miss many.
The big man doesn't. You better not give him a chance today, Larne.
Just trying to see, David, I know there's a bit of a breeze about, but is there much of a breeze down on the pitch? A little bit. And I think it might be blowing from the Cop stand.
I was down earlier, Jack, and walked on the pitch, and there's actually quite a stiff breeze there. Swirling. It probably predominantly is going from the Alex Russell stand down to the railway stand, but it's swirling also. I just hope it doesn't spoil the game.
So Larne will have the benefit. I have to say the Windsor Park pitch is looking not too bad at all for the end of the season. Well done to Gary Thompson and his team. As David said, a few minutes late, a big moment as this 2005 Irish Cup decider, nationwide Irish Cup decider, is underway. Portadown going in, as you would expect, 2-9 favourites. Larne, well, you can get them at anything from 3-1 to 6-1. Very generous odds if you can get them at 6-1 on a 2-horse race. But there you go. And all this huffing and puffing in the early moments is trying to settle the nerves. And there'll be a few challenges go in. Not a good touch from Dixon.
Yeah, big Alan Murphy from Larne will be well pleased. Centre-backs in particular to get close to the front men and just let them know that they're around, and Alan did that very well, and Vinnie.
Yeah, just thinking, David, they both drew in their league games here at Windsor Park with your team. Now Kyle Neal, who scored an early cup final goal, played his part in that as Mark McCann was trying to make his way through.
They did, Jack, and to be fair to Larne, the day that we played them, while we created a lot of chances, we were maybe a little bit fortunate on the day to get the draw.
But of course, Portadown returned a second time to beat Glentoran here in the semi-final replay. Well, a third time that would have been, because they had 2 matches against the Glens. This is good. This is very good. But it wasn't a good ball, and Murphy has done well to dash off his line. Well, well, well. Jeff Hughes was way up there. He's wearing number 3. but he's got 2 of Larne's Irish Cup goals in this campaign. So an early warning, David, for the favourites.
There was actually a great ball through by the young lad Robbie Weir. Great vision. He's a super player. And as I say, Big Hughes, who at times has played left back this year, is much better going forward. Jimmy McGill has switched him in, and young Marty Rogers, and he has got pace to burn, Jack.
Well, there's Dixon grabbing the ball, and down he goes. Free kick given. And this is in a very good position for the underdogs. Just into the 3rd minute of this cup decider. Dixon will be the man. No, he left it. Oh, it sailed in. What a goal. Neil Ogden, the former Portadown player, he left the club 2 years ago. Can you believe it? What an upset for the favourites. Just over 2.5 minutes on the watch. And my word, Larne are in front.
Jack, little bit of kidology. That's a great free kick. Look, tremendous. Portadown tried to prevent it. They had a man on the line. Look, but that is inch perfect. What a strike, Neil Ogden.
Neil Ogden, and I think you can say that was one made on the training pitch.
Sammy Smith and Jimmy McGill will be purring. There's nothing like working in something all week and it coming off. Look at that. Look, Mark Dixon went to look to hit it, fainted, Ogden stepped up, and that is a great strike. If that was in England or Spain, we would be raving about it for weeks. Great strike, big man.
A la Backs, David Beckham, but what a start. We'll get more than 1 goal today, surely, big fella.
I hope so, Jack. You know, we were bemoaning the fact that the last number of finals have been 1-0. We've got a goal in the first 5 minutes. That's going to really open it up.
Indeed it is, and what a start. Jimmy McGill will not believe it, but then maybe he will, because he said, we're going to win this, our name's on it. Last team to hit 2 in a final was Linfield, of course, 2002, when your team beat Portadown.
That's right.
Funny enough, by 2 goals to 1, but Larne should beware and remember that day, because Portadown scored first, Linfield hit back. Courtesy of 2 super strikes from Chris Morgan.
Tremendous goals that day from Christopher. He's had a great season, I've got to say, and I must say congratulations to you, Christopher. Never doubted you, as I say. It was unfortunate you had to leave us, but very well done, Chris.
Yeah, and you did say at that time, you know, I'm letting him go. I know he could come back to haunt me, and well, enough said about that, David.
Thanks, Jack.
Portadown try to hit back. The old man is there, though.
What Larne will want now, Jack, is the next 5 minutes just to steady things. You're always vulnerable straight after you've scored a goal. So they'll be looking to try and steady the ship. Portadown will be looking to nip back in again.
A penny for Ronnie McFall's thoughts after that goal went in, particularly from the man he allowed to leave Shamrock Park. Neil Ogden, only his 2nd goal of this season.
Well, Ronnie will be going absolutely mad at the fact that the free kick was given away, but you can do nothing about the free kick itself. Absolutely nothing.
Tremendous free kick as this ball comes across. Plenty of white shirts there. And they just get it away. Anywhere will do. And
a little bit after reserves, Michael Collins and Kyle Leal just had a little pop at each other because they didn't expect that either. And as I say, it'll be an interesting test of Portadown's nerve. You made a good point before the game. Is there additional or extra pressure than them? We'll see, Jack.
I was going to say, Ogden's only goal before today was in February. They lost a league game at home to Loughgall by 3-2. And no doubt it was the sweet left foot which put it in that day. It's the sweet left foot which has done it this afternoon in this nationwide decider. And what a start. But Portadown are coming back. Oh, Arkins. Now that has to go down as a real chance for the ace marksman.
Great chance. Credit must go to, I think it was Alan Murphy, who didn't let Vinny get too far in front of him. Good ball in. Wesley Boyle, good ball in. You would have fancied Vinny, but I've got to say, give a little bit of credit to Alan Murphy. He at least put the big man off.
Yeah, and I was talking about Vinny's goal-scoring exploits before the kick-off, but he's never scored in a cup final. He'll be trying to put that to rights. And they could do with something from the great man at this moment to get back into this final. But there's a long, long way to go. Collins just couldn't get there, but they've mopped it up. O'Hara. Stephen Small playing his last game today. The 35-year-old, he'll be 36 in a few weeks' time. He confirmed, had been speculation, will he play on? This is it for him. But he will go into coaching and management, and I think he could do well in that.
No doubt, a student of the game, and would be a big loss if he went out of it. There's an awful lot to give, and several conversations with him. He's very knowledgeable about the game.
He's very articulate young man.
He is, he's a cracking lad actually off the pitch, fantastic fella.
It's hard to give up playing though, David, isn't it?
Well, it is, Jack, you know, particularly for ourselves.
So long ago I can't remember it.
Oh, it is. My father used to say to me, you're a long time stop playing. He wasn't half right.
Oh, that is true. By the way, this is Portadown's 9th final. They've lost the last two. 2002 to Linfield, the year 2000 to Glentoran. It's Larne's 5th final. They've lost all previous 4, and that's the first time they've scored in a final through Ogden. Last 4 finals, they were beaten 1-0 in all of them.
Jack,
Dixon.
interesting to note, you called it right before the game. As it came up with the caption, it looked as if Larne were going to go 4-4-2. You've called it exactly right. It's the 4, a 5 and a 1. And you see now they're looking to frustrate Portadown, get men behind the ball, and they're leaving Dixon as the out-and-out man. So Portadown are going to have to pass quickly and early and try and not play their way through, but get round the outside of them.
Strong header by Convery. Given away again. Curran just shunts it forward. The number 3, Jeff Hughes, always ready to maraud down that left-hand side. I think that was part of the plan, that sometimes they were intimidated at Larne this season by the Linfields and Glentoran. Damage limitation, don't lose too heavily. But then the Cup, it's a one-off and you have to go for it. And they seem to work hard and close people down. And that's perhaps why they are in this Cup final.
Well, I think that's right, Jack. And what you find, and Jimmy McGill's been frustrated this year because he's talked about, will the real Larne team turn up? You know, there are players there who, on their day, some are average players, some are good players. The good players will be great players today, and the average players will become good players because it's a one-off occasion. The difficulty is then can they do that week in and week out. But certainly in the Cup games have done fantastically well.
Yeah, and Stephen Small played in an Irish Cup final. 97, beaten with Cliffable as this ball comes in. Dixon was waiting. Curran couldn't direct it goalwards. Ten minutes gone here at Windsor Park. You can see the scoreline on your screen. May surprise a few. That goal coming after about 2.5 minutes. Lovely, lovely free kick from Neil Ogden. Great challenge when it was required, as Richard Clark was threatening.
Portadown now need Richard Clark and
Collins.
Yeah, to get a hold of the ball, get a hold of the game.
But the white shirts defending in numbers. And obviously Jimmy has told them, after you do score, as you say, David, you're always vulnerable. Now, Arkins, lovely little ball to find Mark McCann. Wesley Boyle is in the middle, so too is Arkin. Mark McCann across the face of the goal. Pressure still on, in by O'Hara. Taken away from Arkins, though, by Wesley Boyle. And Hughes leads it out to safety. Hamlin. There's somebody down. It's Kyle Neal. What's he holding, David?
I think it's his knee, Jack.
Right knee, right.
I think he twisted it or it was caught on the last tackle.
Yeah, and if he's tweaked that, he could be in a bit of trouble.
Well, it just looks to be in the medial area, and if that's the case, that's a really sore injury. And if it's been...
Here we are, David, we can see it here.
Oh, gone he days. Look, you can just see there.
See it from a different angle here. There he goes.
Yeah. Is actually his studs slid into the grass, sort of stuck and jarred.
Yes.
I don't think it was because there was any contact there.
Well, he doesn't look too distressed. That'll be a good sign.
You talk about Neil Ogden being a set-piece specialist. That's what Kai Neal is for Portadown. That's why Mickey Collins gave him a bit of a blast earlier on, because the corner wasn't up to his usual standard. Puts great balls into the box, this Kai Neal.
Mickey Collins gives everybody a blast at times. Here's why it's 1-0, David, and as you say, tremendous, lovely left foot. How's that for a finish? Pick it out. 1-0 in the Irish Cup final.
It was an absolute clinker, so it was. I really can't go over the simplicity of it and yet the brilliance of it. The part that Dixon played in running up to strike the ball and just fainting, and then Ogden to come in. My goodness, who would have expected it?
And you could see from the celebrations there, what a lift that will give them as well. 2.5 minutes into the game.
And yet, Jack, there's only a couple of minutes gone, and yet you could even sense that Larne were, you know, that little bit more relaxed and in control.
Yeah, they were up for it, weren't they?
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, there's Mr. McGo and his assistant, Sammy Smith, who's always got plenty to say, as you know. We're back with the game. O'Hara. Back to Paul Murphy. Nice story. Had a month with Newry. This is only his 13th game for Portadown. Unlucky for some after conceding that goal in the early minutes, but he's done very well. He did very well in the both semi-final games against Glentoran. Had spells with Leeds United and Leicester. Boyle thought he'd let it go out of play, hadn't. Portadown get the throw. Remember, Portadown in their traditional red.
Misunderstanding there, Jack, between Marty Rogers and young Hughes. Let Wesley Boyle have the ball there.
Digs in the cross. Curran. Well, he's misdirected that. He's given away the corner. Testing times for Curran and company in that Larne defence. But 38 years of age, Curran, he's seen it all before. There's the view. That's not a bad ball. That could be 1 each. It is 1 each. Was it in when Arkins got to it? Or is the great man claiming his 21st of the season? Coming up to 15 minutes gone. Their time to cheer. Portadown, the favourites, are back in this cup final.
Well, I said to you, Jack, about Kylie, look at that ball in. Little flick on. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you put them in. I think he put it in with his knee. He put it in with his knee. Look at that ball in. Great ball in by Kylie. Little flick at the front post. And the Predator is there at the back. 1 each.
He got one in the quarter-final. We come off that replay very quickly, because very quickly Portadown were looking for a second. But Arkins, his second of this campaign, one in the quarter-final against Ards, as I said, and this one in the final to bring Portadown level. His 241st goal for the club. He'll be 35 later this year. What a great player he's been for the Ports, and what a great servant he's been. Now, the tails from Portadown are up. Kyle Neal couldn't get there. Kyle Neal, Bonner it was, took him away. Collins finding a bit of space. No way through. And Larne have the throw.
Next 5 minutes for Larne are going to be particularly important, Jack. You know, they held out straight after the goal. They kept their nerve. Portadown exerted some pressure, have got back into it with that, as I say, great corner kick from Kyle Neal, goal by Vinnie Arkins. Their tails, as you said, is going to be up. Now is the time for Curran and Small to exert their influence, to Ogden to get a grip of the game. Let's keep our shape, fellas. Let's not give anything else away.
Yeah, the last time we had 2 scored in a final, After 90 minutes, it was Linfield 2, Bangor 0 in 1994, 11 years ago. Oh, Larne, be careful, you're not a bit slack. Good play by Rodgers in the end, but it wasn't really. Bit slack.
A little bit tense now, Jack, a little bit tense.
Mark McCann, O'Hara, first time ball over. Richard Clark bravely in for the header, but no real problems for Alex Speckman, the Larne keeper.
We made the point, Jack, of talking about Collins and Clark getting to exert their influence, and they're doing that now. Clark makes great runs into the box. Okay, his header was off target there, but he's fantastic at getting beyond his front men and getting into the box.
Young man who played in the last 2 cup finals when they were lost, so he'll be looking for a winner's medal. Now, can Portadown keep it in? They have. They get the throw. And a bit of more of a spring in the step of Portadown.
They looked deflated after the goal, and what a great goal it was, but a goal concedes a game, as we always say, and they have done that. It's done that, rather, and you can see there's a zip and a purpose about Portadown.
Text number up your screen, by the way, 81771. Please get in touch with your thoughts, your comments or questions. Stephen and the boys, Billy and Michael, will deal with them at half-time, or as many of them as they can. Boyle couldn't find a way through. And Larne just quite happy to relieve the pressure. Young man who's Sunderland bound after this game. He's not 17 yet. It's quite remarkable what he's done.
He's a great talent, Jack. Great talent. Watched him with interest this year and is very mature in his play for his age.
Collins. O'Hara. And Larne pinned back a bit for the moment. Only Dixon, here he is, up front. Trying to turn away, but that's good defending by Convery, who along with Darren Kelly has formed a very good partnership at the back. They've only conceded 1 goal in their 5 cup games before today.
I've got to say, Jack, they're a good pairing, and that big man in particular, very, very physically strong.
Free kick given against Dixon. A little nudge on O'Hara. Well, food for thought now for Jimmy McGeough and Sammy Smith after being stunned, well, not stunned, but hit by that equalizer.
As you know, Jack, it's an awful position to be in because, you know, you can see Jimmy and Sammy discussing what they should do, what they would hope to do, but it's down to the lads out in the pitch. They can't influence anything now.
I'm just looking at them animated there. As Darren Kelly was trying his luck, it luckily falls for Boyle. Right, neat footwork. Colin Feeney. It's not a bad ball in. Kyle Neal, he should have got a head to it. Perhaps deceiving him a little bit in the strong breeze down pitch side. They're saying, just looking at Jimmy McGill and Sammy.
It's actually going everywhere there, Jack. We said the wind may be a factor. We talked about it coming from the Alex Russell stand down, but I suppose more predominantly swirling. And there was a prime example of it.
I'll make it the 3rd time. I was saying about how animated Jimmy and Sammy were there. You never get a minute in that job of yours.
No, you don't, Jack. You're kicking and heading every ball. You're making every tackle. You're playing for 11 men out there when you're on the touchlines.
Harkins finds Neal. Not a good ball in by Kyle Neal. Alex Speckman dealt with that easily enough. Kyle will be disappointed. Good to see Speckman playing here today. Was marvellous in the semi-final against Ballymena, and then he dislocated a finger against Lichfield down at Invertown about 5 weeks ago.
A remarkable game against Ballymena, did tremendously well, and then a totally innocuous and accidental challenge with Glenn Ferguson, dislocated his finger. So very pleased that he's fit and able to play today. There's Richard Clark, has taken a bang in the back of the head.
Referee has stopped it. Richard Clark, under 21 international. He's an in-your-face midfielder, David, isn't he?
Very much so. He started his career playing wide right, and I always thought he was tremendous there, but always wanted to play centrally. And I think Ronnie quite rightly kept him wide right until his game got better, until he matured. And now, you know, he's competitive. He can wing tackles. Great foil for Collins, because I say Collins is a tremendous passer of the ball, as is Richard. But I've got to say Michael can really thread great balls through, and Richard can get on the end of them.
Interesting headgear for the boss.
Yes, the big man obviously doesn't want to get his hair wet.
You said that.
I know I did. He won't be happy with me. That's a tremendous hat.
He's like us. He's got his flower in today. And meantime, the good news is that young Clark's back at his feet and ready to resume. Mark McCann gives it back in the interests of fair play, which is always good to see as part of the game today. Long kick from Spackman. Hamlin trying to get a touch. Kyle Neal. O'Hara. Like Neal has a very neat, very tiny left foot on him. Bonner wearing 15. He's not a substitute, in case you've just come in. After, well, we're just over the halfway point. The teams are using squad numbers today. Well, Ogden, after he scored, he's looking for a second.
Well, why
he's
not?
up for it, isn't he?
Well, why not? But I think that was one he hit it, and he was hoping that someone would guide it for him.
Kyle Collins. O'Hara reverts to the long ball. Now Mark McCann. No way through. Hughes was there along with Curran, who clears. Small. Weir. He's a neat touch, Weir. Didn't end up a good ball, but you can see he knows what he's doing for a young man. And at this point in time, as he goes to Sunderland, I believe Larne will not receive a lucrative fee or anything at this point, but when he signs professional, as hopefully he will do in a couple of years' time, then there will be money change hands.
It's a compensation fee for the development that Larne has been so much part of in respect of that young man's game.
And I think it's only fair, isn't it?
Well, it is, Jack, you know, because in this day and age, you know, the days of, you know, in days gone by, transfer fees were so helpful to clubs when you got that one-off chance to make some money, but it's not going to happen anymore. And the compensation route is the only way that we can ever hope to get anything in respect of the transfer of players.
Portadown trying to get forward. Vinnie Arkins, the man who's brought them back into this game, has given it away. Flag stays down, but the ball much too long for Bonner.
Intelligent ball, but by Neil Longdon. Dixon was coming back from an offside decision, or position, but young Andrew Bonner made a great run, very intelligent run, and was unfortunate there not to get in the end of it.
Recent form of both teams since winning the semi-finals has been poor enough. Portadown 6 games, 1 victory. Larne have played 5 games, 1 victory, but then they've been chopping and changing their teams, and I think they both had a big eye on this cup final, David.
Well, there was 2 things, you know, when Portadown knew that they couldn't win the league, then it was about Ronnie keeping his players fit and fresh. Jimmy McGill had a different priority. He needed to keep Larne in the Premiership. He did that.
She's done. Here's Clark. Oh, Kyle Neal, he didn't get there. Bonner, what a very timely tackle by young Bonner. Collins tries to take Portadown forward again, and Larne play themselves out of trouble. But that was a very good piece of defending by Bonner.
They did tremendously well there, because that had goal written all over it, Jack.
He was in. It's a long, hopeful ball, and it's caught on the breeze. And here we see it. Clark caused the problems. There he is arriving.
Yep, Kyle Neal was there, bursting into the box. And a great clearance by young Andrew Bonner.
Young man, his first season came from Donegal Celtic. Has had a few games. He scored one cup goal so far against East Belfast when they won 3-0 in the very first hurdle, the 5th round.
Here's his left foot of Kyle Neal again. What can he do this time?
Yes, as you say, he's not bad at all with these set pieces. Kyle Neal. Should be easy for Spackman, and it was. Just over 27 minutes gone. It's one apiece. And for the moment, for the last 10 minutes or so since they got the equaliser, Portadown would be ahead in points.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Jack. They've got the game with the scruff of the neck in the middle of the park. They're looking very strong at the back. The system that Larne are playing, it's when you are defending and you don't have much of the ball, and when you do get the ball out, you've only got one man up. It's hard to then sustain any attacking play yourself. But to be credit to Larne, they've stuck in there, they've defended well, and at least they haven't given another goal away.
This is O'Hara. Yes, a thankless job for Mark Dixon. It's a very difficult job when you're a lone striker and you're running across the line all the time.
Ask David Healy.
That's right. He's a very good example. And I would say shortly into the second half, you're beginning to feel the pace. As Larne try to get forward, young Weir takes a tumble. The referee's not interested. O'Hara couldn't keep it in. And a chance for the white shirts to try and push forward. Keith O'Hara, another young man who played in both finals. There was O'Hara, Clark and Arkins, all played in the final in 2000 and 2002. He was the boss, of course. Took over in
I remember
'87.
You mentioned O'Hara, and I remember talking to Big Ronnie after the day they played Glentoran, and O'Hara was brilliant that day, and he had one mistake for a ball went over the top of his head and Tim McCann got it. I just can't remember who scored the goal, but a great ball in by Tim McCann, the only mistake. And I've watched his career with interest, and he really has come on big style. Excellent left back, good defender, good use of the ball, and supports the play well.
Yeah, and a very assured left foot as well. Other end of the spectrum, a young man who's retiring. Small takes the throw, gets it back. Here's Bonner. He's given it away though. Arkins had to stretch. The flag would have been up. Indeed, the flag is up on the far side. But it went out of play.
He's seen it and gave the throw and ignored the linesman there.
Keith O'Hara. Just coming up to the half-hour mark. We've had 2 goals. The final, I'm glad to say. Honours even. Hughes brings it away. A roar comes up from the cop stand to our left, housing some of the Larne supporters. Flag stays down. Larne still coming forward. This is Hamlin. Plenty of white shirts in the middle. Hamlin still going. Well, he hit it strongly, but he hit it straight at the keeper. A neat little break and a little bit of pace, and a powerful shot at the end of it.
A great move. Prior to this, a great run by Jeff Hughes. Young hammer. No alternative but to have a pop. A good strike. He got it on target. And Murphy saved well. But I tell you, great credit to Larne. As I say, there's the strike again, but it was the forging run of big Jeff Hughes. Okay, he was tackled, but he went at them. Young Hamlin got on the ball, and good strike. Well done to Larne.
Yeah, and another reminder to Ronnie McFall, perhaps. This is not over. Of course it's not over. But Portadown were certainly having the better of it after Vinnie Arkins nudged in, I think, with his thigh or his knee, the equaliser. And Larne have had to absorb a fair bit of pressure. Well, he was slightly lucky, was Murphy. 13th appearance, unlucky for some.
He was brilliant against us in the league game, but Ronnie will be saying, you can't score from Rosette, son. Don't try and play football. That's why you're a goalkeeper. You're not a footballer. My goodness gracious me. The big man will have lost some more hair.
Oh, there's your goalkeeper, Alan Manus, at the door. He wants to speak to you. As George Best said to me recently, doing an interview with him, he says, well, goalkeepers are all stupid, he says. He was talking about Gordon Banks at the time.
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't say that to Alan Manus. He's affectionately known as the Hulk.
Hughes. Ogden. Hughes has to go back to the challenge from Boyle. Hughes and Larne win the throw. And Larne, well, both clubs were pre-final meals at the hotel before driving by coach up to the International Stadium. It's all part of the buzz of the day.
They often say to you about enjoying the day, Jack, but you don't enjoy it. It goes past you that quickly.
It's not easy to enjoy it, David, if you lose it.
No, it certainly isn't.
And even beforehand, when you're warming up and you're thinking what might happen, it's difficult to relax.
The only enjoyment is if you win it and after the game. If you win it and after the game. And that's, well, certainly for me, that's the only time I ever enjoyed a cup final.
Yeah, and you look back, the shocks, the main shocks have been 76, Carrick Rangers, then the B Division, beating Linfield, way back in 1955. You'll not remember this, David, of course. Dundela beating a great Glenavon side of Jimmy Jones, Wilbur Cush and so on. Dundela in the B Division, 3-0. Glenavon were one of the top sides at the time. It can happen.
One-off game, Jack. All you've got to look back when you look at the English League and you think of Southampton against Manchester United, Leeds and Sunderland. You get bored, people ad nauseum with the cup upsets. And I tell you, Larne have got themselves back in this game. They've done very well. Weathered the storm, had a great chance through young Hamlin.
Here we go, Kyle Neal with that left foot of his. Arkins! That may have taken a final touch off John Convery, but Arkins will be claiming it. His second of the day. But let's see this. Is it Arkins' goal?
What a header. What a header.
But where was the marking? Perhaps that will be a question. Arkins. Did it take a touch of Convery?
Let's look again. Great ball and again. Great ball. Firm header. Yeah, I think it did.
Let's see it from here.
Yes.
Huh?
John Convery's goal. John Convery's goal, no doubt about it. Paul Curran is nowhere near Vinny. Alan Murphy's behind John Convery, can do nothing about it. That's Convery's goal.
It's his first cup goal of this campaign. It's his fourth of the season. Well, Vinny took the congratulations, but I do believe that Convery got a touch.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Jack. Again, we've talked about the quality of Kyle Neal's ball into the box. It was a great ball in. Poor marking, I've got to say. Paul Curran give Vinny the proverbial streak to come and head the ball, and Convery did very well in turning it into the net. That was actually a difficult skill, and the big man deserves some praise and some credit.
I think he'll be claiming it as well.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and he's every right to claim it. Vinny will do his best like all strikers. You should ask Glenn Ferguson. Glenn claims for everything. I think it's something about strikers, but that was Convery's goal.
Okay, here they are in search of number 3. In by Neil again. Alex Beckman got 2 hands to it. Here's Collins. Takes his time, very much dictating things in midfield. Collins. Oh, Mark McCann, it's a lovely chance, and he has taken it superbly. The man who got the goal in the semi-final to beat the holders, Glenn Tollan, has put Portadown in a very strong position in this cup final. Dejection, disappointment for Speckman, but what about this, David?
Was a great ball in from Richard Clark. Nice little neat touch by Vinny. Mark McCann eluded Paul Curran, and that is as cool as you like. Mickey Collins starts the move over to his pal Richard Clark. There's a great touch.
What a shimmy.
And you know something, I feel a little bit for Paul Curran. We've talked about being an older player, and that's when you're maybe a little bit of lack of mobility. Watch this, Jack. Look, you would expect the centre-back to win it. He didn't do it. And what about that for a finish? Absolutely class.
12th goal of the season for Mark McCann. That will not worry him about making up the dozen as we see it again.
Look, you would expect the ball to be won here. Look, doesn't get there. Little shimmy.
But he finished it with great aplomb.
It's as cool as you like. That's a class act. And I tell you as well, when people were talking a surprise about Gary Hamilton not in, and with all respect to Gary Hamilton, Ronnie says, who's got it right?
It's raining goals, David. 2 in 2 minutes for Portadown. This final has been transformed. Larne in the ascendancy in the opening stages, and it's all turned against them.
Do you know, Jack, I'm going to show a little bit of bias here in respect of Larne, because they really do need to tighten now for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Jimmy will want to get them in at half time, because they will be shell-shocked. In control, great goal as they start off, and then Portadown come back very, very, very strongly.
Well, in their 2 meetings this season as that throw comes in. Who's back there defending? Vinnie Arkins, great team player, apart from being a tremendous goal scorer. I've always said that about Vinnie Arkins.
Does a similar job to Glenn Ferguson for us. You know, they're both great strikers, but they're great team players. And Vinnie just showed exactly what Glenn does for us.
Tax number is up there again, 81771. Well, that flashes wide. Marty Rogers it was. 81771 with your thoughts, your opinions about this cup final, which at the moment sees Portadown leading Larne by 3-1 after trailing by 1-0. And less than 7 minutes left to the break.
Switched a couple of things right now. They can see the influence of Collins, and I see that Marty Rogers has gone from left back, and he's going man to man on Mickey Collins, with Weir going in on Richard Clark.
And he's just pushed Collins down there.
Yeah,
that challenge.
Maybe it's a wee bit, the horse is already bolted.
Yeah, well, I did say a few minutes ago that he likes to dictate things in midfield, Collins, and he's, I liked a press man the other day described him as a warrior. I thought that was a good description.
To me, he's probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented midfield player in the Irish League. People talk about his temperament, but a wonderful, wonderful footballer.
Yeah, Laurie Sanchez will be having a look at him, but I like the way that when it was speculated about Collins for the international side, he came straight out and said, well, it's difficult. A part-time player, particularly in midfield, stepping up to that level, and I would have to say I agree with him.
I think you're right, Jack. You know, people at times get a little bit carried away. You know, there's a massive gulf in respect of part-time football and full-time football, and then even those in full-time, the different divisions, the gaps in terms of quality, ginormous. I think it'll be a wee bit unrealistic to expect Michael to go and play for the international team, as great as a player as he is.
Murphy very commanding on that occasion as we ease towards the break. We've got 4 goals in this first half. We were talking before the game, David, and we thought there would be goals, and thankfully there are, but the Larne people would have been thinking that 3 of them might have gone to Portadown.
Yep, they'll be fearing the worst at the moment, Jack. But I tell you, the team have got back at India again.
Murphy. Off the head of Bonner, and then Rogers. The lone striker, the lone ranger. Dixon up front. Here's Bonner again. Ogden, who got that goal for Larne. Tremendous strike. Seems so long ago now. 3rd minute of the game. Here's Hughes. Bonner, little flick. They gave it away, but they get it back. Rogers. He was brought down, the referee ready to play advantage, but decides on the free kick.
Yeah, it was a little bit late there. Richard acknowledges the tackle.
Yeah. He's always biting at you, isn't he, Richard?
Well,
as we were saying.
The touch of the Makelele's there, because he knew exactly what he was doing, wanted to break the play up, and would be appreciated by his manager, but not by everybody else. So,
Ogden, left foot. Well, I didn't think, I was about to say he'll not try it from there. I know he's a good free kick taker. He's got the goal with a lovely free kick, and that almost caught him out there, didn't it, young Murphy?
Well, two things, Jack. You know, number one, there's me saying, well done, Richard, you've broken the play up, you've given a free kick away. I don't think it's in a particularly dangerous area, but again, we've talked about the wind, and it was a good strike. He got it on target, and it certainly gave Alan Murphy some problems. He didn't expect that. Neither did we.
Ogden with the in-swinger, I would think. Murphy's up at the back post. Dixon couldn't swing on it. Hamlin floats it in. This time the keeper takes it.
Good early call. Who was back there defending again? Big Vincent Arkins.
Yeah, who gave the keeper a pat in the way pass, said, well done, son. Just 20 years of age, young Murphy. Big day for him, as I said earlier, 13th game. Meteoric rise to fame, playing in an Irish Cup final.
Similar to big Alan Manus. Alan was a similar age when he got his Irish Cup winners medal ironically against Portadown.
O'Hara misdirected it. Sammy Smith gets it back to Small very quickly. Well, handball, and no complaints or protests from Richard Clark. Just thinking about Stephen Small. He's about to take the free kick. It seems as though a disappointing end to his career could be on the way. You never can tell, of course.
You can't tell, Jack, you know, and it would be, for Stephen, it would be desperately disappointing. But at this moment in time, Jimmy McGill will be wanting him and Paul Curran. As I said at the beginning, you need, as I say, lads with experience, old heads to calm things down. And they'll be looking to, particularly the Small and Curran, to do that, as well as driving the younger players on and trying to give them some belief. They'll be saying out there, listen lads, it's 3-1. Given their age, they're saying, well, we're not going to be back here again. So come on, fellas, let's give it our all. Let's do all that we can.
Yeah, and who knows? The last thing they want Larne is to concede a fourth goal, but if they get a second goal and went in at 3-2, that's a different game.
3-2 would be a bonus. Jimmy would like to get them in at 3-1 so they can get them reorganised.
Robbie Weary couldn't control it. Richard Clark, oh, it's into the path. The flag is up on the far side. It is not number 4. Second of the day for Mark McCann. It was a slick move, a sweet move, and I think the linesman got it right.
Great pass by Wesley Boyle. There's Richard Clark, sweet as you like. And that certainly was close. I've no doubt.
I'd like to see it from another angle. It might have been close enough.
Yeah.
But it's ruled out. It's still 3-1 to Portadown, and we're inside the last minute of this first half. Let's see this angle here.
Wesley Boyle.
Well, the left back might be close to marking him on.
He maybe moved just that little bit early.
I still think the linesman got it right.
I think he did, Jack. And as I say, from a Larne point of view, they'll be relieved because to go in 4-1 down, gee whiz, and you're talking just about damage limitation then, and you don't want that to happen, not for them, and certainly not for this final.
I've just seen the board. 2 minutes have been shown, and we are into that time added on. Ogden. Hamlin couldn't get there. Here's Hughes, just keep it in the Portadown half, and as David says, get in at half-time and regroup. There will be plenty of talking, I would say. Ronnie McFall will be fairly happy. He's never really happy, totally happy, big Ronnie. But at 3-1, he'll think, well, we are on the way. Just keep playing the way you're playing.
Well, what the big man will be saying is, you've got ourselves in front. You are now cup holders at the moment. It's yours to give away. And what he'll be saying to them, are you going to let these Larne lads take this off you? Because it's your cup at the moment. And what he'll just say is, keep it nice and tight at the back. Let's continue to dominate in the middle of the park. Let's not go gung-ho. Concentrate, that's the key to it. And keep playing.
And he may say to them, knowing Ronnie, that you faltered in the league. You owe me this big time.
I would have thought Jackie would have said that very clearly before the game. Because, you know, they were flying at one point of the season. Everybody was saying it was Portadown's league. And then inconsistency let them down. But there's no doubting they're a quality team.
Yeah, they come in as big favourites today, as we all know, and they've proved that so far. And it's hard to see a way back for Larne, but we've all been proved wrong in this business before. But Portadown are very much on course to winning the Irish Cup for only the 3rd time in their history. Once on the pitch in '91, and then the '99 debacle when they didn't get to play Cliftonville in the final. Cliftonville had a player, the registration fiasco. And Ronnie was saying to me before the game they took no pleasure from that at all, and you can believe him. So he would love to win it in the pitch again.
And see, the good thing about it, Jack, you've got to say Larne could have come here very negative and just sat behind the ball. They haven't done that. They've contributed really well to this first half, and I think that's why we've seen such a good and open and flowing game, and consequently we've got 4 goals.
I think this might be the last play of this first half. Spagman. Well, Cullen Feeney, he got a goal last weekend. Feeney, it was only his first of the season, and he was almost in there right on the stroke of half-time. But Portadown have done their business in the first half. They had a shock in the 3rd minute when Neil Ogden scored a lovely free kick to put Larne 1 up. But then 15 minutes off the thigh of Arkins, 1-1, and then 2 goals in 2 minutes. We think it was Convery got it. Arkins took the congratulations, and then 2 minutes after that, McCann rolled in a very nice goal. But plenty to reflect on for both managers and sets of fans at half-time. It's Larne 1, Portadown in front, 3.
And we're with the Larne manager, Jimmy. After a dream start, the wheels have come off.
Yeah, we're sitting too far back. You know, obviously, you know, Portadown has got to come at us, and it's their game. You know, Harkins has caused us a bit of problem. We have to address that at half-time. Certainly we were in a driving seat there, but again, we were a little bit too anxious, and we allowed the second ball, Portadown to win the second ball. That has to be addressed at half-time also.
You are the eternal optimist, Jimmy. Can you see a way back?
Oh yes, oh yeah. There's another 45 minutes to go. We'll keep our heads, we'll keep our composure, and if we get the breaks, then we're back in the game. It's only 3-1. It's no problem.
1 more and you're back in it.
1 more, we're right there. Yes.
Thanks, Jimmy. I know you want to get in there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Well, lots of talking to do for the Larne manager, Jimmy McGill. Now, before our analysis, we have a half-time quiz for you. It's a pretty simple question. Northern Ireland play a friendly here in June to celebrate the IFA's 125th birthday. Simple question, who do Northern Ireland play? Text your answers to 81771 and you can win 2 tickets to that game. We will announce the winner before the start of the second half. So that's 81771. Which international team will Northern Ireland play here at Windsor Park next month? And you could be coming to the game. Well, joining me here with the half-time analysis, 2 former internationals, Billy Hamilton and Michael O'Neill. Billy, Larne got off to a dream start, but it's all gone horribly wrong.
It was a great start for Larne. You know, they couldn't have asked for anything better. 2.5 minutes into the game, they get a free kick, and Ogden dispatched it brilliantly into the top corner. Their manager went berserk on the touchline. They must have thought it was going to be their day, but then Portadown wore them down and got some goals from set pieces.
Any way back for Larne, Michael?
Yeah, I think you know they're still in the game. Portadown have actually shown just their class leading up to half-time.
This is the free kick.
This is the free kick. Ogden with the left foot.
Super strike.
Super strike. Colin Feeney on the line does everything possible to try and stop it, but goalkeeper doesn't move at all. It's a great free kick. And at that point, I think we said before the game that an early goal is what the cup final needed, particularly from Larne, and it's proven to be that way.
The lead didn't last too long, Billy. The hitman, Vinnie Arkins, equalised.
Yeah, well, you can't keep Vinnie quiet for long, and you can look at this corner being taken. It was a great ball in, a flick on the near post, and who's ghosting in the back? Very brave, because he nearly hurt himself on the post, but that's what forwards are paid to do, get in there where it hurts, and great flick on, and Vinnie's brave just to touch it over the line. A great striker's goal.
I think he maybe hit that with his knee, did he?
Yeah, the quality of the corner actually makes the goal, and the flick on, and it's just a case of getting anything on it, and Vinnie I think he put it in with both knees actually, but he's the man you want in that situation.
At 1-1, critical time for Larne, and credit to them, they did try and push forward on the odd occasion. This is a pretty good example here.
Yes, you know, this is where they won the possession here, and they pushed it Portadown. I think it's Murphy gets the ball, and he's very, very positive. You know, flicked through to him here. goes straight at the Portadown defence, comes inside a defender and sets himself up for a shot. But the angle was too narrow and the keeper narrowly saved it. That was a wee reminder to Portadown that the game wasn't over yet.
That was 1-1, and then unfortunate for Larne, that's when things started to go wrong. 2 quick goals in succession.
Yeah, that's right. Another set piece here. Great corner again. And Vinny gets another good header on it, and John Convery's presence in front of the goalkeeper just does enough to help it over the line. But Portadown have looked very dangerous from all set plays. They've got the wind behind them as well, which has helped, but the delivery has been excellent throughout the game, and it was, at that point, it was no surprise to see Portadown get the second goal.
We're giving that one to Convery, are we, Billy?
I'd say so, but it was well worked. Arkins won the header. It was the hard part, and Convery just finished it off, deflected it past the keeper nearly on the line, but a well-worked goal.
That was 2-1, and then Mark McCann made it 3-1.
Yeah, this is an excellent goal, the third goal. In fact, this is the second goal. It comes back out here to, I think, to Richard Clark eventually. If we have a look here, yeah, Richard Clark gets possession here. He's actually been behind everything that Portadown have done, and Mark McCann does excellent sidesteps the defender, and it's a great finish.
Super finish.
It is a super finish, but I think you should pay respect to the part that Vinny Arkins plays in this. He does a great little flick into McCann's path, and that stretches the defence. There it is there, opens the defence up. McCann dummies the shoot, sends the defender the wrong way, and then slots it in the bottom corner. A class goal.
Portadown fans were happy. Great shimmy for the goal, but credit to Larne, push forward again and force Murphy into another good save.
Yes, they did. You know, they haven't given up yet. You know, they've got a mountain to climb, but once again it's a free kick. It's Ogden again, this time from further out. The goalkeeper gets a hand to it, touches it on the bar and puts it away for a corner. Yet another wee warning that this game is not over.
Yeah, I mean, Neil Ogden, I think in the second half, with the wind behind them, Larne can cause Portadown problems from set pieces, and Neil Ogden's an excellent delivery of the ball. So, you know, Larne by no means, if they can get some set plays in the second half, can maybe cause some problems for Portadown.
A few spits of rain through the sunshine here at Windsor Park. Fingers crossed the rain stays off. The international manager, Larry Sanchez, is here this afternoon watching the game, and he's pitch side now with Mark Sidebottom.
Thank you, Stephen. You just mentioned sunshine. He's just back from the sunshine. Laurie, you've been in Namibia trekking, I believe, for Action Cancer.
Yes, I'm a patron of Action Cancer, and I quite like the idea of the trek, so I went along, and a little bit warmer today. I think it up to about 42 degrees, and no swirling wind with rain.
What do you make of this cup final? It was a dream start for Larne.
Yeah, great start. Neil Ogden, great free kick. Just the final has shown that set plays are so important. You know, 3 of the 4 goals have come from set plays. But having had such a great start, they're always going to get pegged back sooner or later. But a little bit like us against England, you know, they got disappointed with the second goal against, a similar corner to the first one, and while they're disappointed, Portadown have gone and got their third, which makes it a very uphill task for them now.
Always difficult, Laurie, we know, to make this step up from part-time player to full-time. There has been something of a clamour in the local media, Mickey Collins in an international call-up. Have you been keeping an eye on him?
Well, I obviously read what Ronnie McFall said about him, that he deserved a place in the Northern Ireland team. What I would say is that, you know, there's 3 Premiership midfield players there now in the centre for Northern Ireland. So he's got a hell of a task to do. He's had a steady game today. I'll be looking more for him in the second half to come into the game more. But it is a big step up at this moment in time.
You've been reading the local press, so too have we. There was mention of a friendly possibly against Italy. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I remember when I took over the job, I spoke to another international manager who said, whatever you do, don't let them keep organising glamour fixtures, because at the end of the day, they're very tough games. If we play Italy, great. We've got Germany coming up in our next game. We've obviously got England at home thereafter, and I think we might have Portugal as well in November. So I've got a nice, steady series of hard games to get through. Whoever we play, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind playing the best sides, because it's a great opportunity as a manager to manage against the best managers and best players. But at this moment in time, nothing's concrete.
Let me take you back briefly and finally to this cup final. You're a man who's marched with the Minnows as a player and a manager way back for Larne.
Yeah, I mean, they can do. I just said, look, to the manager in the corridor there, to keep them right. They've looked dangerous in set plays. They need to be a bit more offensive now and get 2 men up front perhaps and have a real go for it.
Thanks, Laurie.
Thank you.
Nice to hear from Larry Sanchez. Good to see him here at Windsor Park this afternoon. Another local football issue was resolved last night. Glenavon promoted to the Premier League after beating Crusaders by 2-1. Glenavon winning 3-2 on aggregate. Here are the highlights with Mark.
And so the big time beckons once more for the Mid-Ulster Blues with 37 minutes on the clock at Seaview. Glenavon were well on their way to creating a little footballing history. That's by becoming the first team from the first division to win promotion through the playoffs. And that's a rather jubilant Garth Walsh. Yes, it fell kindly for him, but didn't he take it well? So how to quell the visitors' celebrations was the conundrum for the Crews, and within 60 seconds Darren Sterling had conjured up the answer. Andrew Morrow's flighted cross and Sterling's polished volley saw the sides level once more, 1-1 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Extra time required, and in the first minute of the first half, well, feast your eyes on this little bit of wizardry from Paul McKnight, which would ultimately lead to promotion. Now then, purely for posterity, let's have another look. There's the turn in the sixpence. And there's the precision pass, which Aidan McVeigh half-volleyed into the history books.
All the boys are ecstatic in the change room. They're going mad, so they are. Great result for Glam Football Club, great result for the fans. They've came with us all year, they've supported us all the time, and we give them what they deserve, you know, Premier League.
Well done to Glenavon. We can join Mark again, who's caught up with another special guest here today.
Yeah, John McKinstry, as we were saying before the game, John, 23 years a Larne player. I presume, like most of Larne, you were dreaming after that Neil Ogden start.
I was. I couldn't believe the start. It was a magnificent goal, so it was. But then we conceded badly. The first goal, it should have been headed away, but unfortunately it broke down and Arkins was there. And the second goal was disappointing too. They should have been tighter to him. But overall, I think they've done well, particularly the young players.
How do you contain someone like Vinnie Arkins?
With difficulty. He's been a great player. So I've played against him many times myself, and he's very, very hard to mark. And you know, he's taken his goal well. And obviously set up the second one too.
Jimmy McGlow, whose pint is always half full rather than half empty, said one more goal and we're right back in it. Can you get another goal?
They might be able to. They've done well towards the last 10 minutes there. They've done quite well, of course. Ogden against the free kicks hit the bar, but I hope they keep the score down. But
you say the young players are doing it. Have some of the olders, the veterans, disappointed you?
A little bit. I thought they were disappointing for both goals, conceding both goals. I thought Jeff Hughes and young Dixon has done very well for us, but just a wee bit disappointed on the back four with regards to both the goals.
Do you fear a rout where they Portadown to get another one, John?
No, I don't. I think the supporters will get behind us here. They've done well now. They'll be proud of themselves tonight.
OK, John, thanks.
Well, the MC here this afternoon is Alan Simpson from Coleraine. What about that for a jacket? Vote Irish League football. I'm going to get a quick word with him. Enjoying the occasion this afternoon?
Absolutely, Stevie. Earlier on today, the rain came down, everybody was gloomy. The fans are in us, a sea of red for a change here at Windsor Park. Everybody's in good form. Even the Larne fans are still singing, as you can see. They might be slightly disheartened, but there's 45 minutes still to go.
Talk us through that jacket of yours.
Who can I thank? Sign it in Coleraine. A moment of silliness. Perpetually silly, but hopefully get the fans involved, get the fun going. The teams are coming back out here, Stephen.
OK, thanks very much indeed. As Alan welcomes the teams back on the pitch. At half-time, Portadown are winning by 3-1. It's time to rejoin our commentary team of Jackie Fullerton and the Linfield manager, David Jeffrey.
Thank you, Stephen. I must get the telephone number of Alan Simpson's tailor down in Coleraine. Wasn't it nice to see John McKinstry there? 23 years service to Larne. Current players should take note of that sort of loyalty.
Well, I had the good fortune to play with John for about 2 years, and he really is a gentleman of football. Lovely man. What a servant to Larne.
Tremendous.
I think he left for a couple of weeks one time and went to Carrick and didn't like it and came back again.
What will he have been saying?
As I said, just at the close of the first half, he'll be saying to you've done well, you've got yourselves back to net, they've rocked us with that goal, you have responded very well, you're now cup winners, you're cup winners, it's your cup, and you're going to let them take it off you. And he will be saying to them, keep the concentration, keep your shape, keep working hard, and for goodness sake, do not underestimate this Larne team. And you'll be looking for this big fella, Vinnie Arkins, to get in the end of some more of those great set pieces from Kyle Neal.
And Vinnie's mum, Mary, I know she's watching, should tell Vinnie when he goes home, we've checked the tape and it is John Convery's goal. Sorry, Mary, sorry, Vinnie, but he's got one. And Jimmy McGill, he was saying as he went in, they were lying too deep. Sanchez was saying, Laurie Sanchez was saying, they've got to be now offensive, go for it, and play two up front. Easier said than done.
Well, Jack, you know, we said at the beginning, you called it right, they were going to play with a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and look to hit Portadown in the break. They got the early goal, that was great. But now, you know, they do need to get another man up front if they're going to get any joy out of this. They've got to abandon, you know, playing the 5 across the middle of the park.
But then perhaps Jimmy might be worried, could this end up a 5 or a 6 if we try to be adventurous? But here they are trying to be adventurous. No way through for Dixon. Half-hearted claims for obstruction or were still a penalty. But
yes, but what you know, what if you're going to get beat 3, you might as well get beat 5. You know, you're going to get beaten, so at least go out and have a pop at them.
Give the fans something to shout for.
Very much so.
Well, it's bubbling about in that goal mouth, but Feeney should get it away. He gets the throw in off young Hamlin. Colin Feeney, who was very close to a 4th Portadown goal just before half-time. Young man who can play, young Feeney can play in the centre of defence as well as at right back. In fact, he played in the 2002 final against Linfield, David, as a central defender. But here he is at right back and about to take the throw. And we're about to have a change. Gary Hamilton is coming on. Mark McCann, that seems to be, is it?
Yep.
Limping off.
I'm surprised because if you look there, Kyle Neal is hobbling, Jack, and he actually came across as if it was coming off.
He thought it was him.
Look.
First touch for Hamilton. It's a good one to find Collins. Little bit of space. O'Hara being held up for the moment and then held up unfairly, gets the free kick.
I really am surprised that maybe they're not aware, maybe they're hoping that Kyle will sort of run through that pain. They're maybe looking to say, we can carry you, son. You're still of great benefit to us in respect of your set plays. Everybody has remarked about them.
It's a good ball in. Didn't get to Arkins, but Hamilton has made an immediate impact. Gary Hamilton.
Interesting there, Jack. Kyle Neal has just gestured. You take the corner kick, I'm not taking it. He's taken every corner kick, he hasn't ventured.
So we could see another change as this ball comes out. Spagman doesn't get there! Darren Kelly does. Number 4 looks down the lens of our camera. He lost an FAI Cup final with Derry City. He's playing in his first Irish Cup final. What a moment for him, and I know his family, a lot of his family have travelled up from Londonderry, the maiden city. What a moment, just over 2 minutes. Larne scored 2.5 minutes of the first half. Portadown get their 4th, 2.5 minutes into the second half. End of ball game, David.
There's no doubt about it, Jack. It was, again, another good set play, this time from Gary Hamilton. Gary puts a great ball in the box, but my goodness gracious me, that is absolutely woeful defending. You can see big Darren, lovely lad, smashing goal. He'll enjoy that, as will his family.
Where was the marking?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, nobody's picking him up. Jeff Hughes is with them. He's ball watching. And Jimmy McGill will be going mad. As we thought, Jack, Kyle Neal's coming off.
Well spotted, David. And that's Peter McCann.
Peter McCann. All sorts of rumours that he's going to Glentoran apparently at the end of the season. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, there's all sorts of rumours about Mark Dixon, the Larne striker, going to Linfield, but that's a story for another day, David.
Yeah.
Any comment?
Absolutely none, Jack.
You're keeping your powder dry.
No, it's not true, Will. I've said nothing.
So we're about 5 minutes into this second half. Coming up to 5 minutes. And Larne, sadly, looking for a good start to the second half. The script has gone against them totally.
Well, to be fair to them, Jack, they started brightly, they started positively. And I thought, well done. You're going to have a go at it again. But you just can't legislate for marking like that. As a manager, you can do nothing about it.
In by Hamlin. Collins it was with the header. Didn't get back to Hamlin. Hamilton. That wasn't a bad ball at all. Just didn't get there. And there was a late challenge.
Yeah, that will be a booking. I've absolutely no doubt about it.
Stephen Small may have been the man, was he, involved in the challenge?
Absolutely no doubt.
He's been around the block, of course, the veteran. And he realises that Hamilton can cause him a few problems, and the referee will certainly want to have a word, and it could well be the first card of this Irish Cup final.
If that isn't a booking, there's something wrong, because
he has the yellow card in his hand.
Yeah, no doubt. And he knows it. Stephen, you were a calendar month late. You knew exactly what you were doing. From a professional point of view, I know what was in his mind. I know what he's looking to do. He doesn't want it to end up to be his last big day, to be an embarrassment. And he's saying, come on, fellas, we've got to start mixing it here, because if not, but this is... it's late.
He certainly caught him, as you say. Late. I like that, David, a calendar month late. But he knew what he was doing as well.
Oh, he did.
A little nudge on welcome to the Irish Cup final, Gary. Yeah. That's a sore one, isn't it?
That was.
Ankle bone studs. Text numbers in there, 81771. Caption on your screen, the same colour as the card just delivered to Stephen Small. Thoughts and comments to Stephen and the boys. And of course to our online, Michael McNamee, and a couple of fans are doing the commentary there. They like to hear from you as well as our television people. Collins breaking up the play again. Murphy got it forward, but into no man's land. David, my producer, is just reminding me that you have to pick the man of the match. It's an easy job, David. Don't worry about it. Portadown. They are rampant at the moment. Arkins, lovely little ball. Boyle found the upright. Speckman spread himself. He had his left boot at the post, as we will see in the replay. But Boyle was almost in there for his first cup goal this season. Lovely ball, wasn't it?
It's super football. Great pass, Mark McCann, Vinnie Arkins knocked it through to Wesley Boyle. Good movement all round. Look, Clark was looking to get in the box. Maybe he should have put it across, but that was a decent effort. Decent effort. Look, McCann's in the box there, but...
Well, the keeper had moved away from that near post. He did, to be fair to him, Jack.
He saw the gap and he went for it. Good spot, Jack. And credit's got to go to Portadown here, because people are going to say, OK, you're 4-1 up and whatever else, but they're still playing at a good tempo. They're still hungry. They still want more goals. And there's a hunger there. Young Robbie Weir looks like he's coming off, and young Bonner, young Andrew.
Bonner and Weir, they are off, and the men coming on.
Jim Crossley and Mark Parker.
Mark Parker, I was slightly surprised that Parker wasn't in the starting lineup, as he's done well on the right-hand side for them.
Done very well this season. In fact, there's an ex-Linfield boy.
So just to remind myself, it was Weir who came off, wasn't it?
Yep.
And Andrew Bonner came off. So Portadown trying to get forward again. Peter McCann couldn't find Collins, who immediately tells him off.
Yeah, Collins.
I made the run, deliver the ball.
And O'Hara, they're beginning to rampage. Look, the space they're being given.
Last team to hit 4 in a cup final was Ballymena. Ballymena finished. Ballymena 4. Carrick Rangers 1. 1984, 21 years ago. And the last time we had 5 goals in total in a game was that same final, 4-1. Ballymena Carrick. So 10 minutes almost gone in the second half. It's a sad and sorry scoreline for Larne. The underdogs are feeling the pinch.
It is, but for the neutral jackets group, we've had 5 goals. And they've been, from a defensive point of view, not good. From an offense point of view, they've been quality.
And I'm just thinking of Ronnie McFall's words the last couple of days when he set up, he was reminded about Jimmy McGill saying our names on it, Larne, we're going to win it. Ronnie being bluff as usual, he said, that's all hype, psychology. Football trophies are won on the pitch.
That's right.
And his team are proving him right. Hamilton, it's a long ball, Arkins arriving. It was too long for him though. Clark, he's done well. Late challenge by Jeff Hughes. Many's a day, that would be a yellow card. As it halted Clark on his tracks. The word coming there, just a word from the referee.
Yeah, the game's beginning to be stretched.
Marker for Weir.
Yeah, he's beginning to be stretched.
Substitutes and Crossley for Bonner. Bonner going off, number 15. As I said, both sides playing squad numbers today. Hamilton on as a sub, he's number 9. It's not a bad ball. Larne eventually get it away, but only as far as Collins. Here's O'Hara. Peter McCann. Time to deliver the cross. Oh, Kelly was almost in for his second of the day. He's a central defender. What's he doing up there? They've got a license to kill at the moment. Leading 4-1. They can be adventurous. Kelly was certainly all of that. As this ball comes in, beautifully flighted ball from McCann, and the keeper didn't get there.
I used the word rampaging, Jack, a couple of minutes ago, and they're doing that. There's a great ball in by McCann. Fantastic ball. And Big Kelly, very, very brave. Had both eyes on the ball. Alex Bachman was lucky to get away with that. But as I say, we've looked at O'Hara breaking forward. You know, Feeney has been breaking forward. Kelly's now breaking forward. They're just rampaging now. The game is stretched. Larne have lost their shape. And Portadown have it by the scruff of the neck.
Ronnie McFall was appealing for a throw in there. Eventually, that throw in goes to Larne. Here's Curran. Oh, a bit of slackness there. Hamilton. McCann is making a run in the middle. That would have been a very good goal indeed. Good play from Hamilton to pick up in the slackness from Larne out on the flank. You'll see it here. He looks up. Yeah, McCann's in the middle. And he did get there, and he just couldn't get a firm enough touch.
Do you know what the joy as a manager is? They pressed the ball. Great ball in by Gary. And Gary's ball was made by the run of McCann.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Dixon. Crossley slipped. Parker it was, in fact, on that far side. O'Hara gets it forward. Arkins, beautiful header. McCann wanting all day. Throw in goes to Portadown. And in the north stand opposite us, the travelling Portadown fans are very happy indeed. Arkins, it's number 5. Now, 2 for the day for Arkins. He probably still thinks it's a hat-trick. We've checked the tapes. Condry got that other goal in the first half, but now that is 2. They are on their feet. Those fans are absolutely delighted. There was disappointment in the League Championship campaign as Vinny winds up the choir. What about this, David?
It's a great ball in, but look how clinical it. Oh, that is just majestic. Absolutely majestic. But it's a ball that makes it. Great ball in by Mark McCann. Sublime touch by Gary Hamilton. And as cool as you like.
It's his 3rd in this cup campaign, his 2nd in this final. Last man to get 2 in a final was Chris Morgan. You'll remember that well, David, ironically against Portadown 3 years ago.
But you know what has been great about his display, Jack? He scored 2 goals, possibly could have got a 3rd, but how he has taken part in the team play. He's been back defending, he's been in the box, he's been doing the ugly parts of the game, if you like, the things that people sometimes don't notice, and yet tremendous finishing. Not a prima donna, a great team player.
In by Hamlin. That's not a bad ball at all. Collins, he hasn't got it away. Hamlin, very tricky. Wasn't a good ball though, but the referee waited for the advantage. There wasn't any. That's good refereeing. Free kick. It's all quiet in the stand below us, housing the Larne supporters. It was a big day for them. They've done tremendously well to get here, but it's all going wrong. If even they could get another goal, another couple of goals, it would make the day in some ways for those fans and the players themselves. Because as you said earlier, David, no one wants to be embarrassed. Hamilton, O'Hara. Should be Spackmans. You never know with the swirling breeze about today.
You're right, Jack. On one hand, you don't want to see a team embarrassed, but if you're talking about the professional head-on, you beat what's in front of you. No one will do you any favours. And if you can beat them one, you beat them one. If you can beat them 5 or 6, then you beat them 5 or 6. And Ronnie will expect his players not to let up. He will be demanding that they keep going, and to their credit, they have.
Just over an hour gone. Almost half an hour plus time added. It could be a long time for Larne. They trail by 5 goals to 1 in this Nationwide Irish Cup final at Windsor Park. Easy take for young Murphy. And it's at a time like this, David, where the legs become heavy when you're on the receiving end. The pitch gets bigger, doesn't it?
We said, Jack, about the game becoming very stretched and Larne losing their shape. There's being more gaps and more space for Portadown to play into. And that's because when you're down to that score, you don't become physically tired, you become mentally tired. And you want to get there and you can't get there. And particularly the way Portadown are playing.
And they're playing again. This is Boyle. Plenty of red shirts in the middle. Clark, Arkins, McCann. But Boyle is making hard work of it and loses out in the end. Hamlin, man on, they say. They were right. Kelly, Hamilton hit it, but he hit it wide. But he's looked lively, Gary, since he's arrived.
There's no doubt in his quality, Jack. He's a tremendous centre forward and a great player. Physically very strong, technically very, very good. No doubting his quality as a player.
If you're just arriving in and switching on, that caption is right. It's Larne 1, Portadown 5. Coming up to 63 minutes on the watch here at Windsor Park.
I'll tell you what's making it more difficult for the Larne lads, Jack. That wind has just risen again. You can see from the last goalkeeper's kick out.
There, we can see it there with that ball.
Yeah, it's not even reaching the halfway line. So Portadown are going to keep them penned in. This will be a long last half an hour.
David, I've got another stat for you. I should get out more, you know. Last time a team hit 5 in a cup final, Glenavon 5, Linfield 1, 1961, 44 years ago.
See the number of stats that you've come off with today, Jack, which has involved Linfield. I tell you what, you're getting as bad as Joel Taggart.
You've got me there. Who's Joel Taggart?
Oh, he's that guy who's got a great face for radio.
He's a good lad. He's doing
man.
The radio today, Joel Taggart. Now Larne trying to get forward. Parker can't make any inroads. First it was Crossley who couldn't get forward. Portadown get it back. McCann, lovely ball forward now. Hamilton could be in here. Arkins ambles up through the middle. Hamilton, will he go it alone? He still has it. Just too far for McCann. And he's thinking, why was that not a better ball to me? He was patient, Hamilton. He was clever as well, but not clever enough. You were going to say something, David.
Yeah, both of those things, Jack, because when Gary looked up, there was only Vinny in the box, and Vinny was tightly marked. It was a very tight angle, and Gary held, and unfortunately just played it too long for Mark McCann, who actually started the move in the first place with a great crossfield pass.
So two-man wall in front of Hamlin as he swings it in. It's not a bad ball at all. Now Rodgers chips it forward, but too far. It's not a good effort. Curran has taken a deflection. It's away for the corner. I think it was off O'Hara at the end. Curran, the skipper, had the shot. And that's the closest Larne have come to causing Portadown any real problems in this second half.
Yeah, you can see David Kelly actually looking round and saying to young Murphy, why did you not call me? Because it wasn't a great defensive header out, and it could have gone through to the goalkeeper.
You saw Dixon on the line. Parker is in there as well. Neil Ogden it is with the left foot. Busy goalmouth, as you can see. In it comes. Portadown head got to it. Small. The up and under. Dixon backing in. Look who's marking him. The other number 10. Now here's Parker. Oh, he hit it first time, but he hit it high and wide. And Dixon has taken a little knock.
Yeah, Mark
Parker.
He pressed him very quickly, very early.
It was worth a go.
It wasn't worth a go. There was no one in the box, Jack. He did it quickly and early. He pounced on the loose header by Vinny. And on another day, it would have rocketed into the back of the net.
Text number 81771. Get in touch with your thoughts. 81771. Talking of numbers, it's Larne 1, Portadown 5 as we approach the halfway stage of this second half of the 2005 Nationwide Irish Cup final. Hamlin has won the corner. He looks a good ball player, this young man, who was with Bolton, and then he was playing a little bit of football with Chorley Town.
He's a decent touch, Jack, and I think you've got to praise Larne here because they're 5-1 down. They could have been demoralised, but they're still having a pop.
They're going for it, aren't they?
They're having a go, and I tell you, I admire that massively.
Yes, all credit to them. Hamlin, is it a good ball? It certainly is. Parker. Crossley. Oh, wasn't a bad effort by Ogden. He's not noted for his aerial ability or even been inside the box, but he was in there. And it wasn't a bad effort, as we'll see.
Sweet ball in, he rose above Michael Collins.
Now we have somebody onto the pitch at the moment, just below us. I'm not sure we should even show this gentleman.
No, I wouldn't, Jack. I really wouldn't. That to me, that is pathetic. That is pathetic. Don't even show him. Idiot. Absolute idiot. We said at the beginning of the day.
Well, there he is. Inadvertently, we've shown him. We took the camera off him, David.
We can't do anything about that, Jack. But we talked at the beginning of the day that this is a family day. It's a showcase. It's a showpiece. We want things to go very, very well. You know, and all he's done, he's obviously come from the Larne end. He's let himself down. He's let his supporters down. He's let his town down.
Yeah, it's live on television, so...
Yeah, oh, he's really big time, isn't he?
We're always liable to get this sort of thing. Disappointment at the scoreline is one thing, but that's just not on, and he's been apprehended, I can tell you, and has been frog marched off, as he should be. Back to what we're here for, the game, as Larne try to get some dignity back into this game. Dixon, well, when I say back into the game, they're not going to get back into it, they're not going to win it.
No, but you're right, Jack, they're pressing and they're wanting to get forward. And in fact, that young fella didn't do his Larne teammates any favours at all there, because there was a wee bit of momentum about the Larne play.
There is at the moment. Hamlin swings it in. Keeper kept his eye on it. Well done, young Murphy. Under all sorts of pressure. And he finds Collins. Here's O'Hara.
Great save a couple of minutes ago from Neil Ogden and took that corner kick with aplomb.
Yeah, he looks impressive, doesn't he? You've got to feel sorry for young Muskelly, who was injured in a cup game against Ards and hasn't played since, missing out on the big day. But Murphy has come in. He's done a good job. Clark blocked. Hamlin gets it forward. Here's Collins. Both sides giving it away at the moment. This is Parker. asking a lot of Crossley.
Yeah, David Muskelly's a cracking young lad. He's had an unfortunate time with injury through his career and is an outstanding goalkeeper. And I hope, David, that you're back to fitness and health before very long.
Coming up to 20 minutes left of this 2005 decider. Portadown very much in the driving seat. It's their 47th game of the season, including European and Setanta Cup games. It's Larne's 43rd. It's a lot of games for part-timers, David, but Portadown will not be finding it tiresome today at this point, I wouldn't think.
I don't think there's an appreciation of the public at times of the demands of the local game here, Jack.
Gary Hamilton goes to ground again. Continue, David.
And yet the other point is, Jack, that you play those number of games because you're successful. So you want to be obviously involved in every competition right to the very end. But as a product and as a game, and I hope people who have maybe turned on for the first time to watch a live Irish League game, they can't say that this hasn't been quality. They haven't seen some great football. There's been passion, there's been commitment.
Didn't work out. Collins from Hamilton. Some great goals as well, David.
Some superb goals, Jack. As I say, this is as entertaining a cup final as we've seen. And Larne have really played their part. OK, they're 5-1 down. It looks like a thrashing, but they have really played their part in this.
And they're still getting forward, as you said, and they're not putting 9 men behind the ball to give us a very boring last 20 minutes or whatever. And we have Barry Tumulty getting ready to come on. Jimmy obviously deciding to give every one of his squad a run out on the big day, whatever the scoreline, whatever the disappointment. It's Marty Rogers coming off.
He has done well. He has given us all. He has been tirelessly young fella.
Yeah, young Rogers, yeah. He was a substitute keeper against you in the league game, and he did tremendously well.
Don't talk to me. He was absolutely magnificent. Magnificent.
Barry Tumulty had a spell with Portadown. It's his first season with Larne. He's been out of the team, but he's glad to be in the squad today. Charming young man.
He'll add a bit of strength and hopefully a fresh pair of legs, which will keep Portadown out. That's what Jimmy will be hoping anyway.
Yeah, he's 26, Barry, and another one playing in his first Irish Cup final. In by Feeney. Finney was at the back post. It didn't get to him. Boyle heads it goalwards. Collins in there, Hastings again. Here's Peter McCann. Arkins. O'Hara. McCann. Oh, lovely play. Drifts away from his marker. Here's real danger. Just didn't fall to a red shirt. Dixon laid it off, showing his strength. Mark Dixon, here it is again. Now, what can Larne conjure up? Dixon still going, tees it up. Parker, and a handball, but the referee says advantage. I saw it, play on.
That's the time you want the ground to swallow you up, when I mean for young Mark Parker.
Very well timed challenge by Darren Kelly. Hamilton's down again. Wonder what's wrong with Gary this time. If he's still feeling the effects of that knock he took in the studs, or is it something different? Boyle wins the throw in.
I wouldn't have thought he would have wanted to come off Gary Hamilton.
I wouldn't think so. He might feel he's got a big point to prove coming on. And the only other substitute that's not on the pitch today out of the 6 who started on the bench, Paddy Quinn. We may well see him getting a stretch of his legs. But let me not second guess what Big Ronnie would do.
You never know what the big man would do.
but he'd be very pleased. There he is. He's on his way to his 21st trophy.
I tell you what he'll not be, Jack. He'll not be sentimental. He'll not be sentimental. He'll not say, well, go on there, son, for the last whatever. He'll make the change when he thinks it's right and ready.
No, it's not really one of his qualities.
No, well, some people would say it's maybe not a quality, Jack, but he can't afford sentiment in this game. That's why he's at Portadown for so long, and that's why he's won the trophies he has.
Larne still trying to press forward, as David says, much to their credit. And the Portadown fans, well, looking at various parts of that grandstand, they're up singing. Here's Boyle. Arkins, Hamilton arriving, but not in time. And Alex Beckman, the keeper, holds on to it. He was desperate to play on the big day. He's conceded 5, but he'll still remember that he's played in an Irish Cup final, and a lot of people didn't get to do that.
Correct, Jack. You can think of a number of players who are great players, great servants of the game, and they've never had an opportunity to play in the big day.
And he's got a new pinstripe suit as well. There's Jimmy modelling it for us, Mr. Migaud. Jimmy will be disappointed because he was a winner as a player, and I played with him at Derry City many years ago, and he was a Michael Collins type, a destroyer in midfield, and as players really should realise just how good a player he was. He won the cup in '64 here with Derry City when they beat the big favourites Glentoran that day. But today, the favourites have been Portadown, and they are coasting.
Well, what he's done a remarkable job. He's given them belief.
Believing in themselves at the moment. Dixon, he turned well. Oh, keeper still hasn't got it. And Murphy, a telescopic arm there to keep that out. The ace predator, he smiles. He did very well in the end. We'll see that in a moment as this ball comes in. And Clark should help it on its way, as he does, to find Hamilton.
There it is, Jack. Ball comes in, it's knocked on. Good turn by Mark, shows his strength. Initially does very, very well, but in pushing himself and in throwing himself across, the momentum of his body means the ball comes back of his knee, and then it was hacked to safety.
Yeah, he brought his thigh up or his knee up, and it took it away from him, but he did very well to get there. Murphy. Condry. The other Murphy in goal, clears it. Arkins, lovely little touch. He does that so well at times, Vinnie Arkins. How many times have we seen that little nudge in the air over the years? And there's some question marks about his future. Will he be at Portadown next season? It would be nice to think he would be, because he's really graced the Irish League scene, hasn't he, David?
He certainly has, but I wouldn't mind him not being there.
I understand totally what you're saying,
but I can't see in the big fella going anywhere. Cracking his head for his efforts. Alec Moore, Portadown, man, look at that flag going down, very much like Alitalia.
There will be celebrations tonight. Only the 3rd time in the club's history, remember, and they're already in Europe before a ball was kicked today, because Larne's ground does not reach European standards, but it's nice to go there as winners, and they are ending up emphatic winners. Well, it looks like that anyway. Dixon gets it back. Tumulty. Stephen Small, who's going to bow out his last game today on a disappointing note. But it was always going to be difficult, and he knew that. I was talking to him in the dressing room before the game, and he felt, yeah, it's hard to give up, but he felt he'd be 36 later this month, and he felt it wasn't getting any easier. Now was the right time to bow out.
If some of those players, Jack, can go on, and you think forever, but the difficult thing is...
Let me interrupt you. Arkins, well, he should have done better.
Oh, should have done.
Plods the ball through to him.
Just to finish about Stephen, the difficulty for older players is injuries and how quickly can you recover, and it's also the sacrifices you've got to make.
He made that point about injuries and getting over them, and you need more time to recover from heavy grounds at the weekend and trying to play 2 games a week, as most part-timers do. Larne still getting forward. Crossley has kept it in. It won't get to Dixon, though.
He's been very bright since he's come on, young Crossley.
Yes, distinctive boots as well. And as Vinny was in there looking for the hat-trick, that's not a bad ball, but it's too close, much too close to the keeper. The last hat-trick in a final, would you believe, was 36 years ago, David. 1969 by Billy McAvoy.
Well, don't bet on another one.
Don't bet against it. Vinny could get that.
I was saying that, Jack, because Billy McAvoy will fall out with himself. Every time you meet Billy, he tells you about the hat-trick.
Well, he didn't get a hat-trick, he got 4 in fact.
He got 4?
It was a replay, 1969 against Distillery. Ards won 4-2, and Mr. McAvoy, he's a great character, got all 4 of them. And as predicted, our 6th and final substitute today. Nice to see Paddy Quinn, who arrived in the January transfer window from Ards, getting his turn in the spotlight, albeit the last 9 minutes.
Yeah, Quinn's coming on, Feeney's gone off, and Mark McCann has now occupied his 3rd position of the day. He's actually slotted in the right back area.
And Hamilton there was gesticulating. He's been brought down again. That's about the 4th time he's been clattered. He must be thinking, what have I done? It was Hughes that time, the man on your picture.
They're taking turns.
And I think the referee has delivered the yellow card. So both the fullbacks of Larne have been booked. Hamilton, small diving header. Quinn. Clark. Collins waited for the run of Clark. Larne bring it away. Looking for Crossley. He wasn't tall enough. Quinn. Collins. Just couldn't get a little header through. Off the chest of Crossley. Couldn't find Dixon, though. Time is running out. There you can see plenty of animation in that north stand. We shall not be moved, they sing.
Yeah, they'll start the celebrations.
But still Larne try to come forward. Way by Peter McCann. Clark. Wesley Boyle. And this is where I'm used seeing Peter McCann out on the right. There's the run from Hamilton. Great challenge by Jeff Hughes. He's just 19 years of age, young Hughes. We'll have to get close to that time when you name your man of the match, David.
Yep.
Just give it a few more minutes yet. Contenders, have you thought of a few?
Vinny Harkins, obviously with his 2 goals and his work rate and his efforts. Kelly, I think, has been very impressive at the back.
And by Clark, just let me interrupt you there, David. Sorry, you can continue now. The danger's over for the moment.
Collins and Clark, but I've got to say, for me, it's got to be big Vinny Harkins.
Yes, 2 goals. He might well be claiming the hat-trick. I don't think he's got that, but whatever. He's got 2 goals in a cup final. Repeating the feat of Chris Morgan from a couple of years ago. And as you say, all round defending, working, attacking, finishing chances. he's a bit of a master. And I'm sure few would disagree with that.
He hasn't stood up there, Jack, and just been the prima donna. He's played for his team.
He never has.
No, he's played for his team and with his team. You know, and you get players who have got that energy and that desire. But then you've got to look for the quality. You want that cutting edge. And he has done that brilliantly. Had a hand in one of the goals, scored 2 goals himself. A captain's performance. I think the big man has been absolutely outstanding. And well done, Vincent. And I tell you what, Mary, apart from being a fan of Jack's, I want a cup of tea next time I'm in Dublin.
I was just going to say, his mum Mary will be well pleased. Her son is the nationwide man of the match. 5 minutes left. And dare I say it, 5 more minutes for Larne to endure. Their day has gone wrong big time after that dramatic start, a goal in a couple of minutes. And Portadown, the favourites, must have been rocked back in their heels, but my goodness, they struck back in the quarter hour when Arkins, the man of the match, made it 1-1, and then 2 in 2 minutes, 34 minutes, Convery, and then 2 minutes later, Mark McCann. It was 3-1 at half-time. Then 48 minutes, it was Darren Kelly making it 4-1. Arkins again making it 5-1, and that's how it stands. And the chants are coming up from the north stand. And below us in the south stand, I can only assume that things will be very quiet.
Yeah, they were singing big Vinnie Arkins, Super Vinnie Arkins, and there's that flag. The ladies from Annachmore must have been doing a good job, or possibly the men. Better not show that I'm sexist. I'm sure there's good male sewers down there as well.
The thing is, David, I was talking to quite a number of Larne supporters, and I said to them, as Hamilton gets this in, Darren Kelly can't climb high enough, I was saying to them, being a neutral, I couldn't wish them luck. I said, enjoy your day. And they said, we're going to, Jackie, whatever happens.
I think you're right, Jack. They've come here to enjoy your day, as you say. There's part of me which has got to say, having worked in Larne and know the Larne people, they've been outclassed. Second half in particular, outclassed. They've given their best. That's the one thing they can walk away from this final. They have given their best. They cannot be faulted for a lack of effort or lack of commitment.
Yeah, we can analyse some of the goals and say, oh, the marking wasn't good enough. But the commitment, the desire, the heart was there. And the courage.
No doubt about it, Jack. And the difference.
The difference is quality in the end, isn't
Jack, that's the word I was going to use. And I don't want to sound harsh, but that is the difference.
Talking of quality, enter Vinnie Arkins again. Hamilton, Boyle. They've taken their foot off the gas a little bit, but I think they would still like to score another one. As you say, no sentiment. Big Ronnie will not like them mucking about. Quinn halted. And there have been so many good performances for Larne as well. That may seem a strange thing to say at 5-1. But
no, you're right.
Determination. People in different areas have worked hard.
Dixon has worked his socks off up front. You know, he's been the lone striker for long periods of the game, and he's looked to hold the ball up. Upton has done well. Hughes has made forging runs. You know, Small has give us all. Little Bonner when he was on. Marty Rogers, you know, contributed massively today. You know, Robbie Weir, we wish Robbie all the very best, son, when you're over in Sunderland. I hope you remember your day and you've enjoyed your day. Larne have contributed tremendously well to this final.
They certainly have, and young Robbie Weir, I would wish him well, as David says, and hopefully, if God spares me, I'll maybe be commentating on his international exploits in a couple of years.
Jack, God,
of course, I'll be over 80 then.
Jack, God spares you. I tell you what, we all hope that he does spares you. It is absolutely brilliant to have you back again, fit and well on the airways and on the television. I tell you what, you have no idea how you're loved, my friend. No idea how you are loved.
I'm going red, David. Thank you very much.
Didn't mean to embarrass you, Jack. Just telling the truth. Telling how it is.
Many people have been very nice and welcomed me back, and it is nice to be back again. I wanted to be back for the World Cup game at Old Trafford. I was there, and that was a great experience. And then I wanted to be doing the Irish Cup final, and this is somebody was asking me this week, and it's my 18th, so going way back to 82.
And risk, Jack, of people thinking I'm here just the president of the Jackie Fullerton Appreciation Society. I can tell you, so pleased. The doyen of commentary.
Thank you, sir. I hope my bosses were listening. Here's Larne. And Crossley couldn't be the doyen of getting that ball into the middle.
I'll be your agent, Jack. Ed Smith, give him a pay rise.
He'll have heard that.
I hope so.
We are coming up to... We are into injury time. The referee brings it to an end. He doesn't prolong the agony for Larne. They have been brave. They have been gallant. Jimmy McGill, he said our name was on it. It ended up, it wasn't. Ronnie McFall, his first trophy since winning the league title in 2002. That's nice to see. A little hug.
That's tremendous. That's mutual respect, and it's lovely to see. But those supporters there, and I hope they remember Big Ronnie McFall. There are times they forget about what that man has done. You know, and all managers come in from criticism. There's the man of the match. Outstanding performance from Vinnie Harkins.
Yes,
really did very, very well.
Kevin trying to get Big Vinnie over for an interview. He said he would do an interview if they won. And I said, well, I won't be there, Vinnie, but I'll tell my men. So my men are trying to get Vinnie. And hopefully his mum, Mary, will be well pleased. We might hear from him, Mary, so keep watching. But celebrations all round. There's Kelly, got one of the goals, his first Irish Cup final.
Great defender. Great defender. You have Michael Collins there, he just bossed the middle of the park, second half. You know, he wasn't.
So, David, it's 5-1. It's been very entertaining for the neutral. Portadown delighted. Here's the man of the match, Vinnie Harkins. He's with Mark.
Thank you, Jackie. And my first duty, Vinnie, is to say congratulations, Cup winner, congratulations, nationwide Irish Cup man of the match. You hold on to that. And now I'll shake your hand. And now tell me, how good does it feel?
Yeah, super, yeah. I'd like to say hello, especially to my mum, my two little girls, my wife, and all my friends and family who support me in the last few weeks. It's been tough this season, but in fairness, I think at the end of it, we deserved it. We played some great football this year.
And you want to say a big hello, I imagine, to the rest of the Portadown family, the supporters who've come out in great numbers today.
Especially just look behind you there. That's how much they believe in the team, and we believe in ourselves. And all season, we've said it, we deserve something out of it, and I think we definitely deserve it.
1-0 down, Vinnie. What was going through your head then? Was it kind of Chelsea-Liverpool all over?
Yeah, well, Loggie's a good mate of mine. I knew he was dangerous, and I said not to give away stupid free kicks, but obviously we did. It was very hard, and obviously then to get back on the sheet straight away obviously put us back in the game. But I think overall the lads wanted us so much. Yeah!
Take a big drink from that, Vinnie. Drink it in.
Cheers.
Don't leave just yet. One final question. Will we see you in a Portadown shirt next year? Because we know that there's been much speculation.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to see, obviously, after what happens tonight. But I've enjoyed myself at this club over the last 8 years. And I have to say, if I do leave, it'll be fond memories with it.
Well, we don't know what to make of that. Darren Kelly, you'll not be leaving. What a day for you.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. This cup meant a lot to me. My grandmother died last year, and I wanted to dedicate this one there. And I think I've done it today. I'm absolutely delighted. My mother, for all the support. My fiancée in England, who'll be watching. So I'm absolutely delighted. First medal we put it down, long may it continue.
Yeah, you came from Carlisle and you will not regret that move. And you've been quoted in today's programme as saying, when the end of a career, it'll not be how much money you made, it's what you won.
I think that's true. I think at the end of the day, when you finish playing football, whatever age it may be, people will not ask you how much money you made in the game, but what medals you won. I hope in years to come with my children, I'll have an arm's length full of medals to show them. And hopefully it'll inspire them. Who knows? But I'm absolutely delighted today. So
may this be the first of many, Darren. Go off there and celebrate. Thank you.
Wow, Portadown are enjoying the occasion. Billy Hamilton and Michael O'Neill are with me, and just look at the delight there on Vinnie Harkins' face, Billy.
Yes, for captain today, he led by example. He scored 2 goals and he was involved in 2 others. A great performance from a player who's 34-year-old and coming towards the end of his career, but what a way to cap off a cup final.
But Michael not committing himself to Portadown for next season, and that would be a big loss for them. Sounds as if he might be on his way.
Yeah, it'd be a very difficult player for Ronnie to replace. He's put himself in a great negotiating position with today's performance, actually, so I'm sure there'll be no shortage of takers for Vinny if he decides not to stay at Portadown. And with that performance, it's a nice way to go out, but I'm sure Ronnie and his board will be trying everything now to tie him down for at least another season.
Well, a man who is also a winner today, but a man who we know wants to leave Portadown is their striker Gary Hamilton, and he's now talking to Mark.
Gary, you got your run out. Just how does it feel? Cup winners medal.
Yeah, it's great for the boys and the fans and the chairman and the directors of the club. It's brilliant for everybody, so it is. The boys were a magnificent first half, they were excellent, and second half we carried on from where we started, and I think we thoroughly deserved it.
I just asked Vinny Arkins the question, would he be playing for Portadown this time next year? What is the state of play with Gary Hamilton?
At the minute, my situation is not known at the minute. I'm not playing in the team at the minute, and everybody that knows me knows I want to play football and want to play every week, and that's the main priority, and if it's not going to be here, I'll have to move on.
So it's watch this space?
Yeah, watch this space.
Well done today. Mickey Collins, come in there. We were talking to the Northern Ireland international manager, Laurie Sanchez, at half-time. He was saying it's a big step up from part-time to international football. What does it feel like now to be a cup medal winner?
Yeah, that's third time lucky for me, you know. I've had 2 disappointment cup finals, but we won this one, you know, but we had a nervous start there at the start, you know, but we've done all right. We came out 5-1 victors.
At 1-0 down, what were you thinking?
Oh, it's going to be a Dale, but I say it's not again, you know, but big Finney, big John, you know, they all can score goals.
A word on Larne, your opponents today. 1-0 up, they could have closed down shop, they could have gone Chelsea, Liverpool. They played football, and you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, they went 5 across the middle. No, they've done their homework on us, you know, they got to stop in midfield. But that's why I went up to Finney and that, and we got the goals, but I'm looking for one.
Can you sum it up in a sentence, in a word, Mickey?
I couldn't. Paint the harp. That's all it.
There you go, there's the advertisement we didn't want, Stephen.
We've heard the celebration from Portadown, but just look at the disappointment there on the faces of the Larne players, Billy. They played their part today, but really outclassed in the
Yeah, it's a very lonely place to be now when all the Portadown players and fans are supporting, when you're on that pitch with your head bowed, wondering what might have been, especially after such a great start, after 2.5 minutes getting a goal up. But what I thought was nice and refreshing was that all the Larne players came over to their supporters at the end of the match, and the supporters gave them a standing ovation. This was a great day out for them. They weren't really expected to win, but they gave a good account of themselves. They kept attacking right to the very end and made a very, very good cup final.
And credit to Larne, Michael, for getting to this stage of the competition as we see the famous Irish Cup making its way out there to be presented to Portadown.
Oh, exactly, like Jimmy McGill. I mean, he's taken Larne to a cup final, he's kept them in the Premier League, and I mean, that's an achievement in himself, and I think he really will, you know, put this one down to experience and hope to build on it again for next season.
Well, one of the great servants of Irish League football is Stephen Small. Disappointed today, but he's talking to Mark.
Stephen, we appreciate you giving us a word. Stephen Watson just saying disappointed there today. And this, your last game of football, Irish League?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been considering it most of the season, making it my last, and I just thought no bigger stage than the Irish Cup final to take a bow out on. You know, I'm bitterly disappointed, but proud that the club has reached the final, they've reached this stage.
In the end, Stephen, it was Portadown's quality which shone through.
Yeah, we had an early go at them, we got our goal, and to be honest, you know, then they just showed their quality. They've quality all over the place, and you know, Vinny Arkins, good marksman, and you know, we give them an early scare, but it just wasn't good enough on the day.
And you now will take your bow and it's off, presumably, to pursue a career in coaching.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I've learned a lot over the years, and I think I've a lot to offer still, as in any capacity in the game, and I'll pursue a coaching career, and where that takes me I don't know at the minute.
Jimmy McGill, better watch out. We wish you well, Stephen. Thanks for speaking to us.
Well, a word on that fella, Ronnie McFall, Billy.
Well, he's been there, done it. He's got the t-shirt. He must be delighted with the way his team played today. He must be severely disappointed how they dropped out of the league race, but this is a nice consolation for him at the end of the season, and he'll be a happy man tonight.
And trying to hold on there to Vinny Arkins is going to be his big job now during the close season.
Well, I think so. You know, a strike partnership looks as if he's going to have a job holding on to both of them, perhaps with Gary Hamilton as well. But I don't think he'll be thinking about that too long tonight. That'll be something that maybe come Monday he'll have to get his head round. But it's great for Ronnie. I mean, it's 3 years for Portadown without a trophy, and That's a long time for him with the quality of player he has. So, you know, I'm sure he's relieved that he got that one out of the way today.
Hopefully we can catch up with Ronnie McFall very shortly and hear some thoughts from him. We can also hopefully take a look at a couple of those goals from the second half. Portadown leading 3-1 at half-time, went on to win by 5 goals to 1, so we'll hopefully have a resume of those goals very shortly. We are waiting, of course, for the Irish Cup to be presented. There's been some great celebratory scenes so far, and we're expecting a lot more very shortly. There's Darren Kelly's goal, Billy.
Yeah, it amazes me, you know, it's 3-1 and they come out at half-time. And yet again, another corner kick that Larne didn't defend whatsoever. A ball deep in, and he was unmarked and got a free header at goal. They must be really annoyed at the way they defended free corner kicks today.
Yeah, it's a poor goal from Larne's point of view. Darren Kelly unmarked at the back post, and the delivery on the corner wasn't of the same quality of the ones in the first half, and it's disappointing, as I say, to lose 3 goals from set pieces.
OK, we can hear from the winning manager, Ronnie McFall.
Ronnie, job done. How does it feel?
Yeah, absolutely tremendous. I mean, the objective was to come here today and win, and I thought we'd done it in style. We got caught cold in the first 2 minutes when they goal down, but then we showed our quality and showed our commitment, and at the end of the day, our class told in the end.
And that class particularly shone through and won Mr. Vinnie Arkins.
Well, he's a natural predator. He scored goals. I think he's been with us now 7 years, and he scored goals from the day he came, and he's always been the best in the business.
Will you be trying your best to keep him there for an 8th year?
Yeah, we have always said we'll sit down at the end of the season and negotiate a new contract, and that hasn't changed.
OK, Ronnie, we know you want to get to the presentation. Thanks.
Well, the presentation is underway. Larne are getting their runners-up medals. Time to hand back up to Jackie and to David to talk us through this great moment for Portadown.
Thank you very much indeed, Stephen. As you can see, as you've said, the disappointment there as Larne go through. For so many of them, apart from Neil Ogden, the number 7 there, who's going through, and Stephen Small, they were all new to the Irish Cup final. It has ended in defeat, a heavy defeat. It's ended in disappointment. Ronnie McFall has just said there, we won it in style, and there's the trophy. That's what it's all about. They'll get their hands on that in a few moments. They've won it in style, Ronnie says, and at 5-1, David, it's hard to argue with that.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, Jack. He used the word quality several times throughout the match. Portadown showed that in abundance. Their attitude was correct today. Played some great football, clinical finishing, and fully deserved the victory. The pressure was on them because everyone expected them to win and to win well.
Sorry, let me interrupt you. Michael Collins, at last, he's got a winner's medal after 2 defeats. One with Portadown, one with Cliftonville. There he is. He gives it a little kiss. Quite right. Darren Kelly is there as well. Man who got one of the goals, his first Irish Cup final. He was a loser in an FA Cup final with Derry City, FAI Cup final. Wesley Boyle, it was his first Irish Cup final. Peter McCann. Peter has played before. He played in the 2002 final. So Vinnie Arkins about to come up there. That is Brian Parks, Intermediary Development Manager with the sponsors nationwide. There's David Chick of the IFA. Vinnie has got his winner's medal. There he's got the trophy. Have a listen to this. Portadown, the disappointment of fading out of the Irish League Championship race is forgotten about as those players and the Portadown fans celebrate at Windsor Park. We've had a feast of goals. We have fireworks at the moment. And Portadown went in as favourites. There was that bit of pressure as we've been talking about. But my goodness, they delivered on the day. Big scoreline, 5 goals to 1, 2 of those for Arkins. Will he be back next season? The 3rd time in the club's history they've won it. They're in Europe, they're celebrating along with fireworks. It doesn't get much better than this. Back to you, Stephen.
Thank you very much indeed, Jackie. Celebrations for Portadown, Billy. Deserved winners today, and they did do it in style.
They did it in style, Stephen. After an early scare, they came back very strongly. They had good set pieces and they scored from them. And in the end, it meant that Larne had to come and attack them, which opened the whole game up. It was a very open end-to-end game. But fair play to Larne, they played their part, but deserved winners in Portadown.
And that man who's holding the couple off there, Vinnie Arkins, had a massive role today, Michael.
Yeah, he did indeed. I mean, Portadown looked a little shell-shocked after the goal, which is understandable, and I think Vinnie and Richard Clark were the two main players to drag them back into the game, and he got himself on the end of the corner for the first goal. And once Portadown got level, you could just see their confidence, and they grew from there. And in the second half, as Billy says, once the game opened out, it was a case of how many.
Well, as Portadown celebrate, if you're just joining us here live on BBC One, you're watching Portadown celebrate the Irish Cup victory of this year. They are the champions. Winners today by 5 goals to 1. Let's take a quick look back at today's match, and it was Larne, Billy, who actually scored an early goal.
Yes, a free kick on the edge of the box. Ogden placed it right into the top corner. Even with the defender Feeney on the line, it was an unstoppable free kick.
Equalising goal here. It's a great ball in, flicked on at the near post, and Vinnie gets, I think it's his right knee that puts it in. He's very brave and nearly collides with the post, and that's what Portadown needed, a lifeline at that stage.
Another corner kick here. This time Arkins gets a head onto it. Convery is on the line, just flicks it past the keeper. Larne had trouble defending these set pieces.
And this may be the goal of the game.
Yeah, great touch from Vinnie Arkins. Good play from Mark McCann, tight set in the centre half and placing it in the far corner. And it was a great goal.
Into the second half, this made it 4-1.
Yet another corner kick, this time deeper, but he's not even marked at all, and a simple header into the bottom of the net. Very bad defending.
Darren Kelly certainly enjoyed that goal. And this was the final one, which made it 5-1.
Yeah, good ball in. Vinnie, loads of time, and with his goal scoring instinct, there's no better man in that position.
Over 20 goals, of course, for Vinnie Arkins this season. He's going to be a very hard man to replace if he goes, Billy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stephen, just looking at him here holding the cup up and things like that, he looks very settled at Portadown. He's been here for a very long time. Why move? He gets goals, they know him, the fans love him, the players love him. Why move?